Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It is October 27th, 2025, and I'm back with a break time message. She conquers everybody, a masculine stated. She's a representative. They're talking about eating. What does she eat? They're discussing her patterns. What adaptogens does she use? What kind of herbs does she ingest or utilize in some way? There's something about an operation, and they're talking about sanitizing her. So this could be a copycat who has had plastic surgery because they've been talking about that. They want to actually match somebody accurately. And they could be talking about sanitizing the energy that they harvest to dress her up in because it's just not vibrant enough to match the target that they're looking to replace. They want the original energy as an appetizer. They look at it as a fountain of youth, and these are vampiric dead men living vicariously through sucking the life essence out of humanity. These masculine entities insist that we treat them with respect, while they spit in our face, lie to us about everything, abuse us while saying they care, and they abuse those things and people that we love the most. They buy and sell and toxify our temple, poisoning us so that we don't get proper light production, and it's just ridiculous. They want to be treated like gods. Oh, don't forget, the ever incredible sexy God, right? God's gift to woman or whatever. But apparently in this realm, it's God's gift to man because man is a man lover in this realm. They hate the mother and the daughter, and they flip the babies, is what I see. Sanitize her. Operation could mean one of their gals got into an accident and needs surgery, or a target has, and they want to sanitize the memories and extract the identity. Or it could be they want to get a hold of the original and sanitize her mind, extracting the memories, and then, what do they call that? They call it dissolving the essence and then sucking it out like a little spider. That includes, somebody asked. And another says, that includes everything. So they're having a discussion about somebody cannibalizing everybody. They were tainting the ground meats being sold to the public. They have these human sacrifices all the damn time, and they got to get rid of the evidence. So they just throw them in the meat grinder. So you should be avoiding ground meat, at least. They're complaining about a feminine's attitude. These delicate man egos can't take it when she points out their many errors, when she doesn't recognize the authority of those who have turned the planet into a brothel, a war zone, and a slaughterhouse. They don't deserve any respect. They're not here protecting life. They're killing everything, and they do it to gain power via the harvested life force essence. They just are good at witchcraft and creating magical illusions. Love spells, getting the populace to love them while they eat each other. And then get deceitfully convicted of cannibalism by the spiritual courts. These adversaries are talking about devotion. This woman's connections, her partnership, her friendships, her new family. They're really upset they can't find a Judas. They're talking about a nephew. And it seems to me that in a previous incarnation, they chose a nephew to interpret the messaging that his auntie was picking up. They sacrificed her and then hid her away in some dark hellhole, and this little dweeb has been siphoning her memories, her energy, and utilizing her gifts to destroy everything. They got copycats wearing masks of her face, and they tried to frame her as being a terrorist. These red rumming, rapists, human trafficking, very delicate, man lovers. What do they call that? Mud pie eaters. There's nothing honorable or respectable about these people, yet they insist that people treat them with respect. Do not like it. The little curator, he did not interpret the messaging well. They gave it a twist, and then they tried to blame it on her. But she's up here shining, telling the truth about everything, and they have lost everything. They're getting toasted by God is what they're getting. This seems to be a family that really messed up. They did not find any value in the mother energy or the gifts and presents that she was pouring into them, the love, the loving care and nurturing that she was providing for them. They did not care about her. They just wanted to stick her in some damn hole and then pull off of her energy and utilize it as they saw fit, rather than allowing her to use her own gifts with the wisdom that God gave her to go with those gifts and the way that they should be utilized. They stole these things from her and they misused them in a bad way to hurt her family and then blame her for it. These could be clones. They've been alive for so long, they could very well have cloned themselves, genetically spliced themselves with some other entity to try to make themselves, unbeatable by God. They could have been born of still in stagnant waters and therefore have lost the connection to the life giver, the mother. And they hate God because God holds her in high regard. In fact, she is the one that God has the rainbow covenant with, and these masculines here are trying desperately to get a hold of her and then to sell her into some trafficking ring while harvesting the energy and brutalizing her, and then claiming that covenant, right? They want to shut her down and then dress as copycat her mind up in it. Last cycle, this copycat had an identity crisis when the real one showed up and was recognized. The Most High God has reclaimed this daughter. They can no longer abuse or use her. They can no longer access her mind or her energy. They must do a 3D violent thing if they are going to reattain her, and it is forbidden. They're not supposed to be touching her. However, they did last weekend, and I think they're in trouble, big trouble. They called it an emergency because they didn't realize that God is walking with her. They're too stupid, even though she said plainly, time and time again, and I have, and many other oracles have, that the divine feminine has divine protection, and these idiots who have been used to walking around as though they are God didn't realize that God is with her. So they're like, emergency, they're together. They're supposed to be outside and not pushing in on the consciousness or the energy of this person, this woman who is a catalyst for so many changes in this new cycle, is the opposite of the sacrifice that they require in order to save themselves. But they want to use her as an appetizer. They want to use the energy to bring some sort of life to them, their dead vampiric selves. They're tempted by the energy and its potency, and they're tempted by her life status and the material wealth, the authority that she has been gifted by the divine for graduating at the top of her class an impossible life path. These masculines, this posse of man-loving, mud pie-eating, freaking childish entities, spiders or whatever, running around in stolen man suits, using that hand, that voice, that appendage as a weapon of war against humanity, the women, the children, and other men. The curator is talking about needing a relationship. Apparently, he's stuck in a loop, and I am so glad. May that little sucker and anybody who's working with him never, ever, 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 ever get another relationship. The Most High God said this is the end of their relationship with batteries. This is the end of them connecting to other people's life paths and then dominating it while eliminating the one who actually holds that path. That's it. They're done taking shortcuts and then screwing things up for people who have actually put in the work in order to earn the privilege of being there. There's something about Colombia. Now, if it's spelled with an O, then that would be U.S. sanctions over alleged drug trade and expulsion of Israeli diplomats due to the Gaza conflict. There are human rights activists being unalived there. There is a lot of corruption. Apparently, there's some government violence, police brutality, and sexual violence. There has been some kind of an investment. If it is Columbia, Ohio, that could be a biomanufacturing plant, which uses living organisms to produce commercial products like medicines, fuels, and materials like vaccines, gene therapies, and food ingredients. So there could be some kind of an investment in Columbia, Ohio regarding bioengineered food stuff. This could be one of those tainted products that have been getting added to the food supply. Pfizer is one of the world's premier biopharmaceutical companies. They might be connected somehow. There is a company called Anduril Industries, which is a defense company. It's a drone factory that's going up there. $2 billion bond packaging that could fund affordable housing, public safety, and neighborhood development without raising taxes. I suppose it looks like that's going on there too. There are institutional investors who have bought a significant share of homes in Columbus. Companies moving to Ohio, Anduril, Honda, Wells Fargo, and Intel. There's something about JD Vance again. 3 days ago, on the 24th, Spirit said that he was flipped backwards, upside down, and inwards, that he is a threat to society. There's something about Democrats and something about Arizona. Now, it sounded like they were talking about their appendage, their phallus, and how they've been using it as a weapon of war against the mother and child and other men. It sounds to me as though they have been accused of this, and it's terribly unacceptable in a loving society. The way that these guys have been leading themselves while blaming the world for all their nastiness is just unacceptable. I can't imagine what God thinks about them, how they have defiled the name of the Father while demanding to be treated as though they have earned some sort of respect as a leader or one who has been made in the image of God. They really have done their best to destroy the reputation of the Father in the minds of families, especially children. The Father is a protector. That's what gives him his value. And Spirit Divine said that these leaders have the value of dead men. The protection is non-existent. These villains have perpetrated crimes against the mother and child and other men for centuries, and they've been laughing about it and joking about it, how their perversion is the winner of the competition. The curator is still out there trying to sell opportunity to people. He's trying to recruit more puppets. The curator is talking about addicted or addictions. He is addicted to the energy of human beings. He feels that he owns it. He's been overindulging in harvesting it and dissolving it and just gobbling it up like some freaking candy. And he's getting cut off. And so are his buyers, and they're losing their minds. They're going crazy because all of the magic that they put out onto humanity also is coming back onto them. So they get to walk the talk. They get to walk their talk. Their words that they have put upon humanity are coming back, and they're going to have to eat it, and the intention. Because God said their intention will be their gift. They're going to have to ingest it, and they're going to have to ingest all of it. For every single person that they did, and every single time that they did each person, they're going to get it back. Oh, yes, they are. It's going to take eternity to pay it off, and I don't think they'll make it. They just won't be able to handle the pressure. There's no life in them. They won't be able to recover and rejuvenate from these abuses. This curator is going very, very hard after the earth angels because he is an addict and he's insane with need right now. He's nothing without the stolen energy, the mind access, this connection to source, and the special gifts of God's chosen ones, his family. He's nothing without them. He can't cast the illusion without that presence. So he was ordered to stop. And he refuses to. He will not back off. He will not stop. He's trying to be a little quieter now, but he's still out there wheeling and dealing with his posse of bro-hoes. The curator is once again talking about medicine to his posse of fellows. And this curator still speaks of divine feminine as an appetizer, as food. Unfortunately for these ones, before they can eat, they have to have sex with their food supply, their target, so that they can generate that tag, right? Tag it, just like a freaking cow, so that they can come back and then claim it and harvest it. They have to have a sexual encounter with their food in order to claim and harvest that food. First, they got to pretend like they love it. So anybody out there, I mean, they're all having sex in their mind, they're having sex with their food supply, while their food supply is thinking they're being loved. It's really sick and disturbing. That's the message that I have for you. And I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.